Hello, welcome to the Chemistry IGCSE 0620 with Professor Ijaz. Dear students, we're going to discuss nomenclature, naming organic compounds. Before starting nomenclature or naming organic compound, let me tell you that in your syllabus, the different organic compounds are there, like alkanes, alkenes, alcohols, carboxylic acid, esters, and halogenolkenes. So, uh, these are the different types of organic compounds. Alkanes and alkenes both are hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are those organic compounds which are made up of carbon and hydrogen only. So these two compounds are made up of carbon and hydrogen. They actually contain two elements, carbon and hydrogen. Alcohol contains carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Carboxylic acid also contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Esters, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and halogenolkenes. Alkanes because they contain carbon and hydrogen. So when we say halogeno, it means there must be a halogen. Like it may be a chlorine, bromine, iodine. Okay. Now, alkane and alkene are every organic compound that can be identified on the basis of functional group. I mean, alkenes, they are the hydrocarbons which contain double covalent bond between carbon to carbon. Alcohol contain OH as a functional group. Carboxylic acid contains COOH as a functional group. Esters contain C double bond OO and extension on both sides. Halogenoalkanes mean that you must have a halogen and a carbon. So there must be a CX bond or CCl, CBr or CI bond. Now, alkenes are the hydrocarbon which contain two types of bond, CC and CH bonds. CC bond is single covalent bond. Now, if we have a different types of organic compounds, like if you have a group of alkane, alkene, alcohol, carboxylic acid, ester, and halogenolkane, how can you differentiate those compounds? Because the first task is to differentiate the compounds, and then you people can write down the name of those compounds. I mean, you can go for the nomenclature. Now, alkanes are hydrocarbons. There is a specific ratio of carbon and hydrogen, that is CnH2n plus 2. Alkenes CnH2n. So if we copy the general formula of CnH2n plus 2, CnH2n plus 2, and just put one oxygen, we will get the general formula of alcohol. Carboxylic acid, we can copy the general formula of alkene, which is CnH2n. And if we add two more oxygen, we'll get the general formula of carboxylic acids. So the ester and the carboxylic acid, they have the same general formula. In the halogenolkane, because there is a halogen, so the rest of the compound is CnH2n plus 1. And then X. X mean chlorine, bromine, iodine, any halogen. So general formula actually represents the carbon to hydrogen ratio in the alkane and alkene. But alcohol, carboxylic acid, and ester, they also contain oxygen. So this formula will also show the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen ratio. So these are the different types of organic compounds. And after knowing that what is the ratio of carbon and hydrogen in these organic compounds, not the ratio of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, you can differentiate those compounds, and then you can do the naming organic compounds. Now, if I say that I have two compounds like I have two compounds which are hydrocarbons, I mean C2H6 and C2H4. Now, both these compounds they contain two carbon atoms, but the ratio of the hydrogen is different. Now look at the general formula. If the hydrogen is two times as compared to the carbon, that is alkene. So it means that C2H4 is alkene and C2H6 is alkane. Now, if we have CHO, now C2, if I say C2H6O or C2H4O2, to get the general formula of alcohol, you can use the carbon to hydrogen ratio of alkane and just add one oxygen to get alcohol. So this is alcohol. And C2H4O2, this is either carboxylic acid or esters. Okay, it may be carboxylic acid or ester. It is very easy to differentiate the halogen alkane from the list.